Gabby Petito. In the summer of 2021, a story unfolded across the United States that would captivate millions, spark debate, and leave an enduring mark on the national consciousness. It was the story of a young woman, Gabby Petito, whose life and disappearance revealed a dark intersection of love, social media, and tragedy. Gabby was 22 years old, full of energy, ambition, and dreams of adventure. Friends and family described her as bright, creative, and loving. She cherished art, nature, and the thrill of exploration, imagining a life not constrained by the ordinary routines of her small hometown in Long Island, New York. Brian Laundrie, her fiancé, shared her vision for freedom. A converted van, road trips spanning the country, national parks, open highways, and the kind of life most could only dream of. Social media documented the journey, posts of sunsets, smiles, and landscapes, portraying a young couple living the American dream. Yet behind the filtered images, a darker reality simmered. Gabby and Brian's relationship, while appearing ideal to the outside world, was complex and often tense. Gabby was sensitive and trusting. Brian, according to friends and family, could be controlling, manipulative, and emotionally dominant. Subtle signs of tension emerged along the way, but they were masked by the allure of travel and the happiness projected online. By mid-August 2021, these tensions escalated into a critical turning point. On August 12th, police officers in Moab, Utah, responded to a report of a domestic disturbance involving the couple. Witnesses had observed a confrontation, raising concerns for Gabby's safety. When officers approached the vehicle, Gabby was visibly distressed. She cried, stumbled over her words, and repeatedly apologized, explaining the incident from her perspective. Brian, in contrast, remained composed, articulate, and seemingly in control of the narrative. After assessing the situation, law enforcement made a decision. They would not arrest Brian. The couple was separated temporarily, and by the next day, allowed to continue their travels. At the time, it appeared to be a minor dispute, a private conflict between two young people. In retrospect, this encounter was a pivotal moment, perhaps the last chance to prevent the tragedy that followed. As the weeks passed, Gabby's communication with her family slowed. Her messages became brief, infrequent, and increasingly vague. By late August, her phone went silent entirely. Brian returned home to Florida on September 1st, 2021, alone. Gabby was missing. Attempts by her family to reach him were met with silence or vague excuses. Days turned into a week, and on September 11th, Gabby Petito was officially reported missing. The nation's attention was drawn to the case. Social media erupted. Strangers shared tips, tracked routes, analyzed photos, and speculated on motives. Armchair detectives scrutinized timestamps, posts, and messages, attempting to piece together the timeline. The question haunting everyone was simple yet chilling. Where was Gabby, and what had become of her? Authorities turned their focus to Brian Laundrie, the last known person to have seen Gabby alive. Despite repeated inquiries, Brian refused to cooperate or provide information, further intensifying public concern. Within days, the story shifted from a missing person investigation to a nationwide manhunt. Brian disappeared from his family home, vanishing without a trace. Law enforcement combed vast areas of the Florida wilderness, deploying teams, search dogs, and aerial surveillance. Every day brought new speculation, but little concrete evidence. Then, on September 19th, 2021, tragedy was confirmed. Gabby Petito's remains were discovered in a remote area of Wyoming, near where the couple had traveled. The autopsy revealed the cause of death: strangulation. The nation recoiled at the horrifying reality. This was not a disappearance. It was murder. Public outrage intensified. Questions of accountability, warning signs, and missed opportunities became central to the conversation. Experts in domestic violence analyzed the case, noting patterns of control, isolation, and psychological manipulation. They highlighted the subtle warning signs that had been overlooked and emphasized the need for early intervention in similar relationships. Meanwhile, Brian Laundrie's disappearance continued to dominate headlines. Thousands of law enforcement officers searched swamps, reserves, and forests in Florida. Volunteers and family members joined the search, while the public followed updates in near real time. The tension was relentless. The suspect was at large, and the clock was ticking. Weeks later, Brian Laundrie's remains were found in the Carlton Reserve. Alongside him, authorities discovered a notebook, later described as a confession of his involvement in Gabby's death. Though many details were vague, the notebook confirmed what the nation had feared. He had killed Gabby. The case left an indelible mark on society. It revealed the dark realities hidden behind the polished lives presented on social media. It showcased the devastating consequences of ignoring warning signs in relationships. And it exposed flaws in law enforcement response, prompting widespread discussion and reflection. Even after the case concluded, questions remained. Could authorities have acted differently during the initial encounter in Utah? Were there signals missed by family, friends, or neighbors? How often do similar tragedies go unnoticed because the victims appear fine on social media? What lessons can be drawn about domestic violence, mental health, and societal awareness? Gabby Petito's story is now part of a broader conversation about these issues. Documentaries, podcasts, and news specials continue to explore the events of 2021, dissecting every moment, every decision, every failure. Through these analyses, her story serves as both a warning and a lesson, a reminder of the fragility of life, the hidden dangers behind appearances, and the responsibilities of individuals, communities, and institutions. In reflecting on the case, it is clear that Gabby's life, though tragically cut short, has had a lasting impact. Her story inspired action, awareness, and conversations that continue to resonate today. From domestic abuse education to social media literacy, her legacy is more than headlines. It is a call to vigilance and empathy. The Gabby Petito case remains haunting, not only because of the murder itself, but because it forces us to confront uncomfortable truths. It exposes the masks people wear, the dangers that can lurk unnoticed, and the critical importance of listening, observing, and acting when warning signs appear. For millions watching, this story is more than news. It is a reflection of society, of human psychology, and of the systems meant to protect the vulnerable. It is a reminder that behind every post, every image, there may be unseen struggles, and that awareness, courage, and intervention can sometimes mean the difference between life and death. Gabby Petito's story, dark and tragic, continues to educate, alarm, and inspire. Through careful reflection, analysis, and remembrance, her voice persists. Her story is a chilling but essential lesson for all.